Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's discussion on Nectar of Devotion. So today is we are in a neutral love of God. Okay, so neutral love of God. What do you call that? Neutral love?
Tantarasa, bro.
Hmm?
Tantarasa.
Antarasa,
Santarasa.
Santarasa. Okay. So we are the Santarasa. So that we are just discussing out of the five loving relationship. So now we are discussing about neutral love. Right. So before we start, let's do invocation prayer. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकरमयं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं शाहगणरघुनाथन्विदं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतपरिजनसहितं कृष्णा चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णा पदं सागरललिता श्रीविशाखान्विदंश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय पुतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासाचरिस्तारिणे नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय पुतले श्रीमती भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्री वर्षभनावि विदायिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमादय श्री रूपनुग भक्ति श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनातरिणे रूपनुग विरुद्धापसिद्धांत हरिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर संबोधि पादंबुजयते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुग वरायते गौरवीर्भव भूमि नीडसे सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव स्वरूपमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ओम महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते ताप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परम श्री गुरुम दीनतारणम परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव शरी गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय हरि ओम नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती जयपताक स्वामी नामिनी नामाचार्य पादाय नित्य कृपा प्रदायिने गौरकदामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणी हरि ओम तत्सत्. All right, so today we have gathered here on the 5th December 2025. My God, the way the time is going, unbelievable. But we feel that time is well used. We are always discussing about Krishna Katha almost every day. So that gives us almost, I think 2025 is such a very pleasurable year. I think it's very Krishna conscious year. So, of course, when we're going to start Srimad Bhagavatam, I tell you, it's going to be unbelievable experience. So I can't wait for it. So let's start today's continuous discussion. So we're going to continue on this page 287. 287 and the best example. Okay. So just a quick recap. So what we have read yesterday. Oops. Okay, we spoke on the stage of Shantaras can be attained by the impersonalists only when they are in association with pure devotees. So that means the association of pure devotees is very important. So they only can achieve, even not only they, even we also, in order to achieve this kind of rasa. So we need to associate with pure devotees. Otherwise, it's not possible at all. Even after Brahman realization, that means after Brahman realization, when liberated soul comes in contact with pure devotee of Lord Krishna, and submissively. This is very important. Okay, this is a very important term, submissiveness, right? It's very, very, very important because humbleness, submissivity is very important. Very, very important. And submissively, that means they humbly accept. Why submissively? So when you are submitting yourself to someone, you are giving up all your identity. You know, that means you whatever things that you know, whatever things that you have heard, everything. That means you're going to renounce all your inbuilt what they call experience, and you're coming and accepting a new experience. All right, because if you're not humble, of course it's not easy for us to understand things. Okay, accept the teachings of Lord Krishna without misinterpretation. So when the misinterpretation will never happen without misinterpretation. Okay, when this thing happen, when we listen submissively, that means we always believe, all right, this is something I've never known and now I knew, so I simply surrender to the pure Vaishnava, pure devotees, and accept it. All right. So when there's no submissiveness, you will interpret it in your own understanding. All right. So that means you must be submissively accept the teaching of Lord Krishna without misinterpretation. And that time, what will happen? He becomes situated in his neutral stage of devotional service. All right. All right. So now let's look at the next one. Ata atmaramaha. Atmaramastu sanaka sananda mukhamataha pradyanyat sanakadinam rupam bhaktischa katyate. All right, quoting from 3.1. That means Western Ocean, first wave, text 12. So now the best example of saintly person is situated in the Santaras are. Okay, who's the example of the best example, saintly person who are in Shantaras? Is the one who was Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumara. They are the Kumara brothers. They are the sons of Brahma, right? So these are the best example. At first, they were impersonalists, and after that, they had a fragrance of Tulasi, and they looked for Tulasi, and when they saw Lord Vishnu, and they start to this thing, and so this is the best example. Okay, we'll study that in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Now, these four saintly person known as Chatusana, okay, these four saintly person, or known as Chatusana, are the sons of Lord Brahma. Okay, after their birth, they were ordered by their father to become householder to increase human society. Right? After they were created, Brahma says, okay, now go ahead and create progeny. Okay, because Brahma is creating all varieties of living entity. But what they did, they refused the order. So now when we are thinking the children are not talking to us, not listening to us, don't worry. This is very normal because it happens from the dawn of creation. It is not something new. So they say that they had already decided not to become entangled with family life. So imagine at the dawn of creation itself, they have already said this is a kind of entanglement. All right. They want entanglement. What is entanglement? The family life is entanglement. All right. So, so entanglement means that, say, like for instance, we can't even control our emotion now. We have to control many people's emotion, spouse, children, many kind of things. All right, but can we say, oh, that means I should live a bachelor? So you only have two options: either you are married or you are brahmachari. Nothing in between. This is very important. All right, like I've seen, like many men, many women. All right, they rather like to stay single. So when they ask them, they say, "I'm a brahmachari, I'm a brahmacharini," or like that. So brahmachari or brahmacharini is what they call. It is an ashram, right? Just give me a second. Something fell down. Just give me a second. All right. So like that. So now what we understand is entanglement. Okay. Now the brahmacharini. So that means either you are married, you are in grahastha ashram, or you accept brahmachari and live in a brahmachari ashram. There's nothing in between, right? So it's very important. So that means they have already decided not to become entangled with family life. So they would rather live as a saintly brahmacharis for their own perfection. So these great saints have been living for millions of years now, right? They're Chiranjeevi, their life. But still they appear to be just like boys of 4 or 5 years old. All right. So they got a boon to remain like a child. Their complexion are very fair and there is effulgence in their body. Okay. and they are always travel naked because young boys, all right, 4 or 5 years old, they are, I mean, those days, I think there's no diapers. So just like a 4 or 5 years old, they'll be just running around. So these 4 saintly person almost always remain together. So they always remain together, and they are the founder of Kumara Sampradaya. All right, now, if in one of the prayers of Kumara brothers, all right, this declaration is made. So this is the prayers of Kumara, the Kumara brothers. Samasta guna varjita, karanata pratichinatam, gate kim api vastuni, swayam adipi tavat sukam, nayavat iyam adbhuta nava tamala nila dyutir, mukunda sukachit gana, tava babuva sakshat kritihi. So it says, oh Lord Mukunda, Krishna, Mukunda means, what is Mukunda means? Krishna, the giver of liberation. He says, the declaration, oh Lord, only so long as one does not happen to see your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. So what is the eternal form of bliss and knowledge? Say, as long as one does not happen to see your eternal form, bliss and knowledge. That means Satchit Ananda Vigraha. All right? Okay, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Appearing just like a newly grown tamala tree. So that means they're giving this thing, that's it. That means their form just looks like a newly grown tamala tree. I've not seen what is tamala tree about. If you have seen, maybe you can imagine. With a bluish hue. Only for so long only for so long can the impersonal feature of the absolute truth, known as Brahman, be very pleasing to a saintly person. I mean, what does that mean? So long can impersonal feature be very pleasing to the saintly person. So that means until they don't see the form of Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, right? They stick what they call the impersonal feature of Brahman can be very pleasing to the saintly person, because once they see the form of Lord, they will definitely give up, because they did the same thing. Right? They did the same thing. Right? They were impersonalists. When they saw Lord Narayana, they became so much into that, and they have given up the idea of being impersonalists. So impersonalists is something happened not now, even the dawn of creation. So what we can understand, when Lord Brahma, first he got that knowledge, the creative knowledge to build, to create things. First he created the 4 Kumaras. After he created the 4 Kumaras, they say, go and produce, go and create life, create progeny. All right? Then they say no. So we see that the son is, against the father. It happened since the dawn of creation. Even at the dawn of creation, the boys were so afraid of getting entangled. All right? And at the dawn of creation, there was still impersonalism. So what we can understand, that means we say the God has no form and everything. So impersonalism is quite common. And imagine, we are very fortunate that we have taken up and we have surrendered to the personality of Godhead. How fortunate we are. All right? So this is all happened in the dawn of creation. Then the qualification of a saintly person are described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. All right? So now, what is that qualification of a saintly person? Right? And what is the authority? Is the authority from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All right? Because we must understand, okay? Because we are not trying to judge anyone. All right? We are not trying to judge, oh, the devotee is 30 years, 40 years devotee, 50 years devotee. Oh, that means he's a saintly person, he's very senior. Okay, we are not here to judge, but we are learning the science of devotional service. So in part of that science of devotional service is also to identify the devotees, the varieties type of devotees. All right? It is not offensive. If it's offensive, it won't be mentioned in Nectar of Instruction. In Nectar of Instruction, they say what type of people that you should avoid. All right? And how to distinguish. Okay, when you see a Kanishta devotee is the one who respects, who adore the Lord, the deity, but disrespect the devotees. All right? The devotee, the Kanishta means they look at the Lord, oh my Lord, oh Krishna, oh yeah, oh beautiful. Okay, they bring. Okay, like example, like some incident happened in Ipoh. They bring ghee and give to the pujari, and they say, this is only for Krishna. All right? Make sure none of you touch. And I got so annoyed when she said that. All right? I just said, how can you make such a statement? All right? No, this is, I'm only buying for Krishna. I make sure. So she will bring it hidingly, so that nobody sees. Come on. Right? How do Krishna eats? How you should serve Krishna? You serve Krishna through the devotees. Right? But this is a neophyte. Neophyte means they adore the deities, they worship deity, they love deity worship and everything, but they misbehave to other devotees. That's called Kanishta, or the first step. Right? So when we see Kanishta Adhikari, what we should do? We should respect them mentally. We do not dishonor them. We do not dishonor them. All right? Oh, this thing. And secondly is Madhyama. Who's Madhyama Adhikari? Madhyama devotees is the one who worships the Lord and also loves the devotee. They always like to be in a devotee association. For them, devotee is their family, devotee is their relation. So when you see this kind of people, you can go and open your mind and talk to them. You can reveal your heart to them. Okay, Madhyama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari is the pure devotee. Right? For them, they do not see anyone. They do not discriminate. Like Madhyama, they only adores the devotee, but they don't want to associate with non-devotees. Oh, you're not me. They don't want to go for functions and all. They don't care about non-devotees. Right? But the Uttama Adhikari, what they do, they are equal to everyone. They adore the deities. They adore every humanity. Because they know that there is a spiritual spark in their heart. In that spiritual spark, they know they have that hidden Krishna conscious in their mind. So our Srila Prabhupada is Uttama Adhikari. He never discriminated. He even he raised, all right, what they call the most abominable people, hippies, the one who don't know any culture, and brought them up and make them a big Brahmana. It reminds me about a story. One of Prabhupada's god brother was giving a testimony in India. He was giving what they call remembering Prabhupada. What happened? He brought a Western devotee, all right, and to Vrindavan or Mayapur, something like that. So what happened? The Western devotee was taking the tilak and couldn't find water. You know what he did? He spit on it, like that. He spit on it, apply the tilak and start to put. He got a shock of his life. Oh my God, what is this? Spitting and putting tilak. Immediately he went to Prabhupada. He says, oh, Swamiji, what is this your disciple doing? He could have just take water, he spit on it. He said, look here. Then Prabhupada just listened and he said, look here. These people came from a barbaric background. Now they are taking up. They never wore tilak in their life. Now they are applying it. Doesn't matter. They will learn eventually. That is the pure mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Right? When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada sent his another disciples, to the born Maharaja, they went there, they couldn't tolerate. They just stayed there for 1-2 years. They only brought one person back. All right? They couldn't tolerate. They can't take it because they are very high level of acharya. Achara means the cleanliness and everything. But Prabhupada was not like that. He went and lived among them, with them. He have smelled how they take drugs, dopes. When he was in Agarwal family, when he just went there, he kept the flour in the same fridge. On the top, there's a meat or fish. At the bottom, he keeps his flour. He even tolerated that. That is Uttama Adhikari. That's pure disease. So when you see Uttama Adhikari, we surrender to them. So then secondly is, another important thing is how to identify a person is advanced devotee. Okay, like sometimes they say, oh, I'm a senior devotee. I've been here for so long. But now, according to my research and my understanding, because I was about to do a thesis on this, the seniority is according to the level of surrender. It is not the level of years in this Krishna conscious movement. How much surrender? A person can be 40-50 years and the person is not surrendered, compared to a person who just 5-10 years and the person is fully surrendered. All right. And the fully surrendered person are considered more advanced. All right. So what is an example? Like some, now you can see some young sannyasis are here. Like the day Bhakti Sarvanya Swami, all right, is from South Africa. He's only 44 years old. All right. And there's another devotee, what they call Bhakti Keshava Swami in London. He's very young. He's around 40. Right? So, but I've been here in this movement for the last 32 years, since 93. So can I go and tell them, hey, look here, I am senior to you. Can I? No. When I see him, I have to fall at his feet and offer my obeisances humbly. So that means the seniority and juniority is all according to the level of surrender, not according to the years we are in this practice. So now let's look at the qualification. So now what is that qualification of saintly person? And this qualification is quoted from Rasamrita Sindhu, Bhakti Rasamrita. Right? It says, a saintly person is the one who understands fully, all right, that simply by discharging devotional service, he can become confident of liberation. He is always situated in regulative principle. What is regulative? Vaidhi sadhana of devotional service, at the same time aspire to be liberated from material entanglement. Right? Let's look at this statement here. So that means, who is a saintly person? The saintly person who understands. How he understands? He understands fully, not partial understanding. He completely understands that simply means what? Other than this, there's nothing else you can do. What? Discharging devotional service. All right? Simply by discharging devotional service, all right, he can be confident of liberation. There's no doubt about it. All right? So discharging devotional service means what? How he says? That means by following the regulative principle. What is regulative principle? The first chapter of Nectar of Devotion, the Southeastern Ocean. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, the 64 limbs of devotional service. All right? And 9 essential, 3 important, and the core is 1, chanting the holy name. So that means he always situated in regulative principle of devotional service. So what is that regulative principle? That means here these people are simply engaging all their senses, mind, intelligence, everything in the service of the Lord. They do not follow any kind of yagya, any kind of what do you call? Any kind of rituals, you know, any program, any prodigy, oh, Rasi, Risha, Purusha, put the fire and put the ghee inside. No, they're not interested in any kind of rituals. They simply engage in regulative principle of devotional service. Right? And while doing it at the same time, what happened? He aspires. That's why I was keep telling yesterday and day before, we were talking about let's have intention. Let's set our goal to become a pure devotee. Okay? So that means while engaging in regulative principle, he aspires to be liberated. Liberated means from where? From material entanglement. So he wants to be liberated from material entanglement. What does material entanglement means? What? Right? Like this, the desire and all these kind of nonsense things. Right? He just want to be liberated. He just want to come out of that material entanglement. When you look at here, it's not mentioned that he wants to go back home, back to Godhead. That he aspires to go to Vaikuntha. He aspires to go to Shurga. He aspires to go to Tapaloka, Mahaloka, Satyaloka. No. He just wants to be liberated from material entanglement. Why? Because material entanglement is an impediment. Impediment in our to become to practice pure devotional service. Is impediment. Because discharging devotional service, even before you go to Goloka Vrindavan, it is so pleasurable. Right? Like for instance, now we are just simply discussing Harikatha. And this Harikatha is so delicious. Right? And how we are enjoying, we are enjoying through our ears by listening. Right? It is so inspiring, so nice. You know, and devotional service is so nice, even it has lots of rules and regulation. So basically, what's the rules of regulation? That you do not get entangled in material condition of life. All right? Meat eating is a kind of intoxication. When people eat meat, they feel the kind of satisfaction. Right? Then illicit sex, the highest pleasure in this material world. Right? Then gambling, which is very exciting. Then intoxication, alcohol, so interesting. See, give all that up. Right? Because all these things can take your mind. Say if you're drunk, it takes first today you're drunk, you feel so good, and you go to bed. Next day you wake up, you're going to have hangover. You're going to have a spoiled day. The whole day, your day will be spoiled because you're having hangover. And by the time you recover and everything come back, 1.5 day is gone. Because we want to engage 24/7 in devotional service. So this is all impediment. So he says, the one who want to liberate it from material entanglement. So this is the qualification of a saintly person. Please underline all these things. Right? Then he says, A saintly person thinks like this. What he says, when shall I be able to live alone in the caves of the mountains? When shall I be dressed simply with undergarments, kopin? When shall I be satisfied by eating simply a little fruit and vegetable? When will it be possible for me to think always of the lotus feet of Mukunda, who is the source of Brahman effulgence? When in such a spiritual condition of life shall I fully understand my days and nights to be insignificant? All right? Moments of eternal time. When can I have that? Right? When, then, that means now when in such a spiritual condition of life, that means once you're in a spiritual condition of life, shall I fully understand my days and nights to be insignificant? All right? Insignificant in the moment of eternal time. When you look at the eternal time is so big, and my day and night is actually very insignificant. Yesterday, I was doing a chart about Brahma's one day. All right? When you look at Brahma's one day equal to 100 days, 100 years, and all these kind of things, our time is very insignificant. All right? So this is the thing that the pure devotee or the saintly person always think. When shall I live alone in the cave? Because they are all mendicants coming out as a devotee, right? So now the devotees and self-realized person, the devotees and the self-realized person who are engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord always remain an ecstatic love for the Lord within their heart. Wow. Right? The devotees and the realized person who always engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord always remain an ecstatic love. Sorry, always maintain an ecstatic love, not remain. All right? Engage in glories of Lord, always maintain an ecstatic love of the Lord within the heart. That's why preaching sometimes very interesting, very exciting. We should go and spread the glories of the Lord. When we need to look at the person, we need to see, is there any spark? When there's a little spark, what we should do, we should fan it so it turns into a blazing forest fire that will eventually destroy that person's nations. Nations means what? Ignorance. All right? So there's a thing, right? So that means they're always thinking how to preach. So while if a person always preaches the glories of the Lord, he always maintain an ecstatic love within the heart. Thus, they are benefited by the rays of the ecstatic moon, and they are called saintly person. So a saintly person is the person who always loves to preach and encourage people, not simply sit in one place like Bhajana Kutir and do nothing. All right? The impulse of a saintly person is to be engaged in the study of the Vedas, and especially the Upanishadic portion. They like to study about the Upanishad portion. To live always in the place where there is no disturbance from common people. All right? They stay in a place where there's no disturbance. Example, like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, when so many people are coming to him and ask, please bless my son and please bless. He got so fed up, he went and sit in the toilet. In those days, toilets are extremely smelly. All right? They don't have the flushing. They don't have India water to clear all these things. You have to night soil, all one place. All right? So that means they don't want to stay in the disturbance from the common people. To think always the eternal form of Krishna. They want to stay away from that. And because they want to always think the eternal form of Krishna. To be ready to consider and understand the absolute truth. To be always prominent in exhibiting knowledge. What does that mean? Always ready, always prominent. To be always prominent in exhibiting knowledge. Exhibiting knowledge means what you have understood, what you have learned, you are expressing it out. To see the Supreme Lord in his universal form, Vishwarupa. To associate with the learned devotees. Right? And to discuss the conclusion of the Vedas with similarly elevated person. All these qualifications are the saintly person served in the status of Shantaras. All right? So these are the qualification of people who are in Shantaras. All right? Because they also love to see the Supreme Lord in his universal, in a Vishwarupa form. All right? Because we are not interested in Vishwarupa form, but they sometimes like the Vishwarupa form. All right. Now, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's also stated that all those who attend the pious meeting held by Lord Brahma for the study of Vedic literature like Upanishad became overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. Okay, it says that all those attended the pious meeting held by Lord Brahma. So that means in this kind of Krishna Katha is also held by Lord Brahma, all right, for the study of Vedic literature, and became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. They all became so ecstatic, all right. So the chief of Yadu dynasty, okay, Krishna, the chief of Yadu dynasty. Actually, the result of studying the Upanishad is to be understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, okay, actually the result of studying Upanishad is to understand the Supreme Lord. Okay, so negation of material existence is only one of the subject of Upanishad. Negation of material experience, what? So now telling you, this is not the place. This is not the place. No, material existence is terrible. We have came out with 8.4 million species. Out of those, there's a 4 species. No, after 8.4 million, 2.1 million born out of semen, 2.1 million born out of seed, 2.1 million born out of perspiration, waterborne, and 2.1 million born through semen, seed, water. What is the next one? Eggs. Okay, born through the eggs, right? There are 8.4 million. Out of those, there's 1.1 million carnivores, I mean animal with 4-legged, 400,000 human species. Like that, varieties of things are there. So it's only a subject. It's only one of the subject, right? But when we start to grow in devotional service, after we understand this is not the place for a gentleman, and our goal is to come out of this place, and material world, it has got three this thing, what I call the mode of passion, goodness, passion, and ignorance. You see that Lord Shiva or Durga will be carrying a trident, or the 3 trident, Sulam. Okay, what is the trident means? It's a 3 mode of material nature, right? 3 mode of material nature, and we are all stuck, and we also have a threefold suffering, right? Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, and Adi the 3 mode. Okay, suffering from a fellow human being, suffering from other living entity, right? Suffering from the nature, and suffering from the mind. Threefold misery is there. All these things are only a part of it. So after you understand that, you understand already, right? Pop, straight talk about self-realization. Right? Now try to come out of it. But you want to come out of it, you have to go somewhere. If I want to get out from my house, I have to go somewhere. I cannot sit in front of my house and do nothing. Okay, I'm out of my house, then I have to be somewhere. So where is that somewhere? That is when the Upanishad will start talking. The place that we are talking about, an eternal place, and that eternal place is something so beautiful, so wonderful. And Bhagavad Gita explains very nicely. Once a person goes there, he will never return. He will never return, right? He will never return. So once a person goes there, he will never return. And that's a place where all the self-realized souls lives. And how they do that? They just go there and do what? They will become my associate. All right, they'll become my associate. That means I'll be with you. So being your associate, what you can do? All right, there's few options I can give you. One option, I'll be the king. You worship me with awe and reverence. Okay. Another thing is, I'll be the king and you will love me. That means awe, reverence, and love. Right? That's Lord Ram. Or I give you another option. You can be my father. You can be my eldest. I become a baby, you take care of me. All right. Or I give you another option. I'll take the cows and go grazing. You become my friend. We do Achidudo, Kona Kondi, Gala Panjang, all this kind of game we play. All right. And I give you another option. And what is that? Okay, you become my lover. That means you come in the form of a woman, girls, you become my lover. You dance with me, you sing with me, and we have a romantic relationship. So which one you like? You choose. Then we select accordingly. So the Upanishad, that's the idea of Upanishad. Okay, now you're going to go somewhere. Where are you going to go? When you go there, you become my associate. If I become your associate, what should I do? I give you option. You worship me as a king. You worship me with awe and reverence. You become my citizen in my kingdom. I give you the same body like me. Swarupa Siddhi. I will have 4 hands. You also have 4 hands. Okay. And airplane. You also fly in airplane. Everything is given. All right, because citizen, if a king is a human being and we are the citizen, the king have a human body, I also have a human body. Similarly, you go to Vaikunta, how the Vaikunta Vasi, the Vaikunta Nath looks, that is the same way as Vaikunta Vasi you also look. And similarly, you go to Goloka, exactly how Krishna looks. So, okay, Sachit Ananda Vigraha. That means, of course, you don't have a blackish, bluish body, but of course, you'll have a very pleasant body. Exactly, right? Then you'll be in two hands, no weapons. You don't carry any weapon. You don't carry anything. You only carry flute. And there's so 3 varieties of flute. And under the Vangshi flute, got 3 different varieties. Sinon Mani, and all these another 2. All right, the long, short varieties, right? And you will have fun with me. Okay, so you choose which one you like. Right, so according to the nature of someone, this thing. So that is the thing. So in Upanishad, the idea is just to negate the material. This thing is only a part of it, but the real part is to understand. That means to go back. Okay, now what are you going to do? All right. So the next subject concern becoming situated in impersonal realization, and then after penetrating through an impersonal Brahman, all right. Okay, penetrating through impersonal Brahman. What does that mean? Penetrating through. All right. So penetrating, okay, now as I've given the example many times, okay, let me show it again. Okay, so now this is the, all right, so this is the Brahman. This is the, what they call this thing. And inside this Brahman, all right, there is a place called, this is a place called Goloka. And after Goloka, and there's hundreds and hundreds of Vaikuntha Loka. This is called spiritual sky, like this. Right? So Vaikuntha Loka. So now you have a choice. And out of this place where you can find as, right? Okay, green color. Lord Ram is in green color, right? So this is the place in between, right? This is the Vaikuntha, is the Golok, Ayodhya Dham. All right. So now you have a choice. Okay, where do you want to go? You choose. All right. So do I like to be here, or do I like to be here, or do I like to enter into any of these Vaikuntha planet? Yes, you can simply choose. I love this Tirupati, Venkatachalapati, right? In Tirupati. So you go to the Tirupati Dham. Oh, I love Narsingadev. Narsinga is my Ishtadeva. You go to Ahobila Dham. Like that, you choose. Wherever you want to go, you go choose. But here the statement is, what it says, penetrating into. So penetrating, that means, example, okay. Okay, so now it's like this. So you are here. Okay, you are here. All right, you are in this material condition of life. So now what are you going to do now? So you have to, it says penetrate. That means you go break this Brahma Jyoti, the light. What is the light? It's the aura of Krishna. It's the aura. From aura of Krishna, the light effulgence is coming and covering all the place, right? The sun globe is there, but the shine covers the entire universe. Similarly, Krishna is there, but the aura, the color, entire. So you penetrate through the light, because the yogis want to go and stay in this light. But now they say you penetrate, you break into the light and go to the place that you really wanted to be. You want to be here, you wanted to be at this Ayodhya Dham, or wherever you want to go, you penetrate, you break this thing open and go to the desired place. All right. So then what happened when okay, so now when this thing happened, okay, when one becomes in the platform of associating with the Supreme, then you go to the associated the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once you penetrate and get into this any of these place, you will start to associate with the Lord. It's not just go there and be nothing. And then that's the place that, you know what happened? That's the place one reaches the ultimate goal in studying the Upanishads. So the ultimate goal of studying the Upanishad is to go and personally associate with personality of Godhead, not impersonal. It's personality. Go and associate with the personality of Godhead. So that is the goal of Vedas. All right. Okay. Now let's move on. Now after that it says, but those who are situated in the platform of Shantaras, okay, that means those who are situated on the planet of the platform of Shantaras, they also get their impetus for advancement in devotional service, right? By smelling the tulsi offered to the Lord's lotus feet, right? Even by smelling the tulsi, they can have the impetus of advancement. That means the possibility of advancement they get just simply by smelling the tulsi offered to the lotus feet. and also by hearing the sound of his conch shell. When you blow the conch shell, even by hearing, and even by seeing sanctified place in some mountains or hill, right? Like Tirupati, you go to Kedarnath, Muktinath, all these kind of, Badrinath. So these kind of hilly stations, mountain or hill, or even by observing forests like the one in Vrindavan, even when a person goes to a forest, or by going to the place of pilgrimage. There's so many people, it happened, right? My father was totally against me in Hare Krishna. When I became a devotee at the age of 15, my father thought that as though I converted to other religion. They thought, because that time in 93, it's a high tide area where all the young boys go join this Hare Krishna and become a brahmachari. They find it's waste of time. He was totally against it. He never liked it. Until few 5, 6, 7, I think around 7, 8 years later, all right, he and his cousins, they took a trip to India. All right. So when they went to India, they went to Bangalore. When they entered Bangalore, part of the tour is to visit ISKCON Bangalore. All right. Now, of course, the temple has gone into something else. But in those days, when you say is authentic ISKCON, under ISKCON banner, so they were taken to ISKCON Bangalore as part of your tour. That means what? Oh, you want to go to Bangalore? Okay, you get a tour guide. The tour guide says, oh, this temple is nice, that place is nice, this is a place, nice place to eat, all this. And part of that package tour is to visit ISKCON Bangalore. When my father and his cousins all went, because my father and cousins, that means my uncles, all really hated me in Hare Krishna. Right? But when they said ISKCON, they couldn't understand because they know Hare Rama Hare Krishna. They don't know what is ISKCON. Oh, my son joined Hare Rama Hare Krishna. Pochida. Hare Rama Hare Krishna. Monday Kalivitanangala. But somehow or other, they went into that ISKCON Bangalore. When went there, they saw everybody, they start to see familiar faces. The tilak like this, shaven in with the sika, with saffron. They said, oh, then my uncle said, this is what your son is involved, right? Yeah, but I said, no, you go and visit such a beautiful temple. He went in, he saw the deities, he saw that environment. On the way out, they gave him prashadam. He came back, his perception totally changed. After 7, 8 years of hatred with Hare Krishna, his perception simply changed when he went to the place of pilgrimage and saw the deity in that ISKCON Bangalore. Totally changed. He started not giving me pressure. He came back and told my mother, actually, our son is in the right place. Only in Ipoh, we can't see the big picture. But international, worldwide, is a huge, fantastic movement. We have seen people who are highly educated, highly distinct, all there. And there, I really see people are extremely happy. Right? Extremely happy. So that's it. So this one example suddenly I remembered. Going to the place of pilgrimage, or by visiting the course of the Ganges River. Sometimes people go to the Ganga and take bath. And by being victorious over the dictations of bodily demand. Right? Or being victorious over that means victorious means they could able to control some of the bodily demand like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay, by understanding the devastation of eternal time. Right? When you talk about before that, by being victorious over the dictation of bodily demand, all right? Because I don't know, since small, I want to be a vegetarian. When I saw that chicken all get killed so miserably with a slit throat, and the chicken was screaming to the heart out, and the thing cut, and from the mouth, all the blood ooze out. And after that, before the fellow could die, throw into the hot water. And before the fellow could die, they put into a kind of a washing machine, put inside, for all the feathers to come out. And after that, they peel out everything and they cut everything and they put in the plastic bag. Came back home. When I just look at the chicken, I says, for my sense gratification, you need to die. And suddenly I saw the chicken still, the legs still moving, still alive. And that's it. I want to be a vegetarian. I hate it. Eating meat, eating dead body. It is nasty. It is awful. It's cruelty. When we eat cruelty, how can we expect blessing? Are we blessed? I'm living life full of cruel and go and pray, oh, my dear Lord, give me blessing. Cannot. You can never get blessings or auspiciousness when you are practicing cruelty. Just like Just like Hitler go and pray. Hitler is a vegetarian. Yeah, he go and pray. Oh, my dear Lord, give me mercy. Do you think God will give you mercy when a person is extremely cruel? No, it doesn't happen. When I saw that, I said, I want to be a vegetarian. In our eating table, my father used to keep a cane. You eat or you get whacked. Right? So when I heard that the Hare Krishna movement is a vegetarian society, I went and joined them. Sometimes I used to think, what made me join the Hare Krishna movement? Philosophy, I was very young. I was only 15 years old that time. All right, the way of life, I don't know what is suffering. I don't know what is pain. They're talking about suffering. They talk about world. I was only 15. You know, I was taken care nicely by my uncle and my everything. Had a good life. Why did I become? But the thing is, just remembering now, when I'm talking about it, now I'm trying to understand. All right, for eating. All right, because I want to have a vegetarian habit. And I know when I join Hare Krishna, it's a society of vegetarian. So I want to join that society of vegetarian. All right, so like that, these also can also buy through the bodily demand. And also by understanding the devastation of eternal time. All right, like sometimes when people like getting older, they know the eternal time is coming near and they understand things going to go awful. They start to have fear and they start to read Bhagavad Gita. And at a very ripe age, people are becoming devotee. Okay, we have two examples here. Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu became a devotee age of 70. Gandhi Mataji became a devotee age of 64, 65. All right. So that means we are seeing. So these are the things. That means by understanding, okay, or by constantly associating with devotee, engage in Krishna consciousness. Or that means when you know someone who is a devotee, example, my mother was not, my mother, okay, accepted. But she said, I only cook with onion and garlic. I don't know how to cook without onion and garlic. I don't know how to do offering. I only worship Lord Kartikeya, Murugan, because Chettiar by default must worship Murugan. I only worship, I cannot worship Krishna. And she used to say this term, Tamil Kadaval Murugan. Tamil people's God is Lord Kartikeya. But what happened? By always associating, and my sister also married to a devotee from BM. And when that extended family, somebody, they are devotee, we are devotee. Somehow or other, true ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And eventually, she became a devotee also. For my mother to become a devotee is something that none of her sisters, her siblings could conceive. None of my cousins cannot believe. She went to the level and now she's duly initiated by His Holiness Narasingha Maharaj. And of course, my daughter. So what I'm saying, this is another example. That means when we associate, constant association. So this is another possibility of person becoming Krishna conscious. So all these different items are favorable in elevating saintly person situated in Shantaras to be advanced stage of devotional service. So in the third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, all right, what he says, Tashyaravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Kinjalka Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayuhu Antargatasva Vivarena Chakara Teshang Sangshobam Akshara Jusham Api Chitta Tanvoho. Let me say that concerning the four saintly person known as Chatusana. Who's Chatusana? Anyone? Who's Chatusana? We were discussing who's Chatusana.
Kumaras.
The four Kumaras, all right? The four Kumaras. So what happened? The four Kumaras headed by Sanaka Kumara. So they went and visited the Lord of Vaikuntha Loka in the spiritual sky. How? And they bow down before the Lord. All right? So the aroma of Tulasi mixed with saffron entered their nostril. All right? When they bow down, there's an aroma of Tulasi with saffron. All right? Entered into the nostril. And they immediately attracted their mind. All right? Although these four saintly persons were always absorbed in the thought of impersonal Brahman, from association with the Lord and from smelling the Tulasi leaf, the hairs of their body immediately stood up. This shows that even a person who was situated in Brahman realization, if he puts into association with devotees in pure devotional service, what will happen? Will immediately become attracted to the personal feature of the Lord. So when we are talking about impersonal, who are very adamant in impersonal idea, when they associate with pure devotee, they became a distinct. Right? Any example in Prabhupada's Leela? There's a Prabhu called Atma Tattva. He's a South Indian. He's a first class Mayavadi. Right? He came and got to know Krishna consciousness and everything, and he saw Prabhupada. And that time, you know what happened? That time, they were singing, what they call, they were singing, they were doing a Guru Puja. They were doing Guru Puja. All right? What is the song? What is the song of the Guru? Sri Guru Charana Patma Kevala Bhakti Satma Bando Mui Savadana Ma Te. In the evening Arati, Guru Arati. Prabhupada was sitting there and they're doing Arati, and Atma Tattva Prabhu, I'm not sure what his Karmi name. He was a sannyasi, he was a Mayavadi. He was looking at that. And the thing that that strike his mind is Prabhupada also singing the song. You say, why is that possible? See, when they are worshipping, we accept the worship. We just listen. We just see, yeah, I'm accepting the worship. But when they sing, Sri Guru Charana Patma Kevala Bhakti Satma, worshipping Prabhupada. And Prabhupada also singing the song. I say, how is that possible? You know, when you're praying to Krishna, when you're praying to Krishna, when you're singing the song to Krishna, Krishna also sing along with you. How is that possible? You understand what I mean? Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. And he was singing. He was singing along. And Atma Tattva says, hey, why is he singing? Why is he singing? And the disciple who brought him, he said, he's singing towards his Guru. He's singing his Guru. He's singing the song, he's dedicating his Guru. It's a song to his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So all the worship that he takes is not for him. He's dedicating everything to his spiritual master. Nothing is his. He's merely a servant. That attracted that Mayavadi. And that Mayavadi Prabhu eventually became Atma Tattva Das. He's the one first translated the Bhagavad Gita and all the Sastras into Tamil. He's one of the pioneer preachers in Malaysia also. Of course, as being a Mayavadi and a very highly realized soul, sometimes the message that he delivers is quite heavy. All right. Anyone of you seen Atma Tattva Prabhu before? I think Mooladhara Prabhu you have seen, right? You should have seen, right? I think Zoom user is Mooladhara Prabhu, I think. Anyone of you have seen Atma Tattva? Saki Champakalata, have you seen Mataji? Atma Tattva Prabhu? I think. Yeah. Which year you became devotee, Mataji? Roughly?
I'm not so sure about it, Prabhu.
எந்த வருஷம் நீங்க டிவோட்டி ஆவீங்க? You became a Hare Krishna devotee?
2000.
Oh, okay.
2000
Melena, you might have not seen.
Yeah.
It's happened around before the year 2000. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. He always visit what they call Talo Intan Center. When he give class, oh my God, explode. Until they say, come on, please. You know, the way you preach, so anyway, all right. So immediately became attracted. That means when he saw the pure devotee, immediately he became attracted and surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. And that's the Prabhu who brought that Narsinga Dev. All right, he came to the South India, prepared the Narsinga Dev, you know, that Ugra Narsimha that installed in Mayapur. When you study about the story about Mayapur Narsinga temple, he's the person in charge, Atma Tattva Das. All right, Atma Tattva Prabhu, fantastic devotee. All right, at the same time, when Prabhupada went and associated with the most abominable people like hippies and everything, just with that association, everybody just did. Like I was listening to one lecture by this Bhakti Vinyan Goswami Maharaj. He was telling, there's a guy who takes heavy drugs, heroin, heavy drugs, not easy to give up. When the person entangled with heavy drugs, no way you can give up your habit. Sure, gone. But after he became associated with devotees, when he started to chant Hare Krishna, within 1 week, he could give up that heavy drug without any sort of what they call methadone therapy. There's no therapy, nothing. He could just give it up. That's the miracle of pure devotee. Very important. So there are certain symptoms of great sages. who are situated in Shantaras, devotional service. Okay. These symptoms are exhibited as follows, right? Exhibited, okay? Now, what they do? They concentrate their eyesight on the tip of the nose. That means they concentrate on the tip of the nose. Try and see. Just look at your tip of your nose. Okay, if you get it. Can you see? Are you trying? Your eyes will be fading. All right. And they behave just like Avaduta. Avaduta means what? Highly elevated mystic who does not care for any social, religious, or Vedic convention. All right. So now what we are discussing here, we are talking about symptoms of great sages situated in Shantaras. Okay. That means first they concentrate in the tip of the nose. Then what they call, they do not care for any social, religious, or Vedic convention. Another symptom is that such person are very careful to step forward when they're giving speeches. When they speak, they join together the forefinger and thumb. All right, they just speak like this, like mudra. This is called jnana mudra position. Why my thumbs up? Why my suddenly my hand went up? Lower hand. All right. Right? Sometimes you see, right? Have you seen? Sometimes when the devotee speaks or anything, they'll talk like this. You know, they will always keep the mudra like this. They call jnana mudra. Right? They always they join the forefinger and the thumb like this. You know, you should do like this. You know, they talk like that. All right? Harid, okay, now they are not against atheists. They are not against the atheists, nor they are particularly inclined to the devotees. Such person gives stress to liberation and detachment from materialistic way of life. That means they're not against the atheists, and they also not particularly inclined to the devotees. They just like, okay, they only give stress of liberation. All right. They are always neutral and have no affection or no misidentification. They don't have affection, and there's no and they don't also have misidentification with anything material. All right. Even you give them gold or what, for them it's just a gold throwaway. Right? It's nothing. So that's why they're always neutral. They are always grave. That means very rumba. What they call grave in Tamil? ஆழமா இருக்குது. All right? That means ரொம்ப நொன்னு பேசாம, you know, they're very grave. Okay, very grave. And fully absorbed in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are fully absorbed. Okay? These uncommon features develop in the devotee who are situated in Shantaras. Why again? Because they're coming from that environment. That means they are mystic meditation. When they come, they will bring all their habits, I mean, all the way of this thing. So regarding concentration to the eyesight or the tip of the nose, okay, like staring at the tip of the nose, all right? So it's mentioned in, okay, there is a statement in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, it says, by a devotee who observed the being performed by a yogi. Okay, when a devotee saw the yogi practicing, and he made this statement, what he said, he remarked, this great sage is concentrating his eyesight on the tip of his nose. From these, it appears that he has already realized the eternal form of Lord within himself. Right? So he says, the great sage concentrating the eyes on the tip of the nose, and from this, it happens that he has already realized. All right? Like sometimes when you look at the yogis, all right, or teaching yoga, oh, I want to be yogi and everything. I'll give you a good example. One of my auntie's friend. Sometimes I also cannot keep my mouth shut, you know. So I made a statement and she got so offended. So anyway, I told her, he said, my Chinama's best friend, she's a doctor retired in Klang. They were talking. No, I want to be yogi. I said, but they say, you know, according to Patanjali yoga and all this, you have to one of the yoga mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. It says, few things we have to follow. First, we must be celibate. That means we should not have sexual relationship in our life. If you want to be a yogi. If you're married, you want to do yoga, it doesn't work. All right? Because the semen has to like pull back into the system. All right. Now, number 2, you have to sit in the place which is not high, not low. And number 3, you have to sit in a place under a tree or under the tree which is in a holy place, not in Klang. All right, not in a Pulai, Pulai Klang. Not sit here, meditate. You have to go to some holy place and sit and listen. And you have to put a what they call the skin of a tiger skin. Oh no, what they call deer skin. You have to put a deer skin. You have to put a soft cloth, and above the soft cloth, you put a deer skin. Why we put deer skin? Say why? Because the deer skin, some or other, will push all that like a poisonous animal like snake or like a scorpion or big ant. You know, when you're sitting in the forest, when you're meditating, all these things will never come near if you put this skin. It's like a what propeller, what impeller, right? Impellent. What is the word?
Repellent.
Repellent. It's like a repellent. You sit there, all the things will go away, will never come near you. All right? Then after that, you have to breathe in, hold, you breathe out, hold. Then you breathe in, hold, you breathe out, hold, and you stop breathing. All right? Then after all the statement I told her, then I said, at last, auntie, you can do all these things, but one place you will fail. And she has, what is that? You have a flat nose. You can never stare at the tip of your nose. She got so angry. Before that, I was telling her. Then she was thinking, oh, I cannot. But at last, I cannot keep my big mouth shut. And I said, you got a flat nose. You know, you got a flat nose. How are you going? Where are you going to look at? So like that. So it's not easy. Sometimes the devotee in Shanta yawns. Okay, they yawn. Sometimes stretches his limbs. Instruct on the devotional service. Offer respectful obeisances unto the form of the Lord. Offer nice prayers to the Lord. And has a desire to give direct service with his body. He got a desire to also serve. These are some of the common symptoms of the devotee who are situated in neutrality. Right? One devotee, after observing the yawning of another devotee, address him. He says, my dear mystic. That means what? Mystic means what? My dear yogi. I think that within your heart, there is some ecstatic devotional service which is causing you to yawn. All right? So sometime when you go to Vrindavan or Mayapur, maybe we can see some mystic yogi now becoming a devotee and they choose to live in Vrindavan. All right? Maybe they still keep their matted hair. They still keep all that, the kalittu full of tulasi mala, all these kind of things. All right? So we do not offend them because we know these are the people in Shantaras. So we're also going to apply this. So you go there, why this Mayavadi is here? Why the Rishi is here? Why the mystic is here? No. They are in Shantaras. That means they're coming out of that impersonal, coming to personal. When you see them, they yawn, you can understand. Oh, he could feel Krishna, some ecstatic devotional service. When a person yawn, you yawn. Because the yawning is what? The yawning is, what is the word? Contagious. When I yawn, you also end up yawning. So when that happens, how you can be conscious? You know, because we are trying to be good. When you see a mystic yawns, you can understand, oh, that mystic is having some kind of ecstatic love. And I am seeing it with my own eyes. Right? So you also can feel some kind of ecstatic. So it's like a contagious feeling, all right? Because you are becoming very observant. Now, you are no longer just an ordinary devotee who doesn't know what is happening around you. You are very observant. And you are seeing everything in Krishna conscious, what they call? According to Krishna conscious, according to the teachings of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All right? It is sometimes found that a devotee in Santaras fall down to the ground. You see, they fall down to the ground. His hair stand up on his body and it trembles all over. If you're a doctor, don't think we don't make assumption that he start to have low blood sugar. He's fall down and start trembling like that. No, he's in ecstasy. Right? In this way, different symptoms of ecstatic trance are exhibited automatically by such devotees. Then, so in the Bhakti Rasamrita, it also state that when Lord Krishna was blowing his conch shell, when he blow his conch shell, right? Panchajanya, many great sages were living in the caves of the mountain, immediately reacted. Being awakened from their trance of meditation. When they all meditate, they awaken and during the Mahabharata war, Panchajanya, he started to blow his Panchajanya. They immediately saw that their hair on their body starts standing. All right? So now, sometimes devotee in Shantaras become stunned. They become peaceful, jubilant, deliberate, reflective, anxious, dexterous, and argumentative. These symptoms indicate continuous ecstasy in established or established emotion. All right. So once a great realized sage was lamenting that the Supreme Lord Krishna was living in Dwaraka. All right. A great realized sage lamenting that Krishna is staying in Dwaraka, that he is unable to take advantage of seeing him. After thinking this, the sage immediately became stunned. You say, oh, why Krishna said? Suddenly he became stunned because he was thinking that he was simply wasting his time. In other words, the sage lamented because the Supreme Person of Godhead was personally present, but he still could not take advantage. This is because of his meditation. Right? Now, when a mystic is transcendental to all kinds of mental concoction, when a mystic is transcendental to all mental, that means transcendental means beyond all this mental concoction. Concoction means what? Mental speculation, putting too many things, concocting idea. Karpanela valakurathu, karpanai, concoction karpanai. All right? Karpanai, all right? So mental concoction. And is situated in Brahman. His state is called trance, beyond the influence of material conception of life. Right? In that stage, when one hears about transcendental pastime a lot, there may be shivering in the body. All right. That means a mystic in transcendental in all kinds of mental. That means when he transcendental to all kinds, that means he's beyond this karpana, mental concoction. When he is situated in Brahman, that means he start to go deep into the trance, into Brahman. He went to that level. And that is called trance. What trance is this? What is another name of this trance? Can anyone tell me? What is this trance we call? What is the term for this trance? Anyone?
You absorbed.
No, I mean the Sanskrit word for the trance.
Samadhi.
Samadhi. See the word samadhi, right? Samadha, right? So the trance means samadhi, not the samadhi that you're talking about when you die, when people entombed. That is not this one. This trance means you are samadhi. What Prabhupada says, work hard when you are young, samadhi when you are old. So samadhi when you're old means what? You absorb your mind in thinking of Krishna, go into deep studies, chant your rounds. Like there's many people used to argue with me. Why are you giving idea about chanting 64 rounds? All right. Of course, I need to, because I just remembered. There's many devotees, even some of my friends, very close devotees, and some of my seniors, some of my mentors, my associate, why are you propagating 64 rounds? Prabhupada didn't say chant 64 rounds. I say Prabhupada said chant minimum 16 rounds. Right. Oh, he said, yes, you chant minimum 16 rounds and go and do preach. I said, are you preaching? I said, are you preaching? Are you engaging full-time in devotional service? What are you doing? Are you preaching? Are you doing book distribution? Are you doing prasadam distribution? Only Sunday you go to temple. And other than that, and some of you are retired. Why are you keep giving an excuse that you only must chant 16 rounds? You chant 16 rounds if you are engaged in other external service. If you're not, do your 64 rounds. That's what I'm saying. And I said all those who are chanting 64 rounds and all are basically retirees. Right? Like for instance, like Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu, for him to go and do this book distribution, go for Sankirtan, go for preaching, it's not possible, right, Prabhu? Right? So the only thing what he can do your 64 rounds. No harm done. If you are full-time sitting at home, go into samadhi. Go into the trance. So once that's what a retiree is supposed to do. That's what Prabhupada says, when you're young, work hard. When you're old, samadhi. All right? So that means this is a state of called trance. And the trance means what? Beyond the influence. That means it's beyond the influence of material conception. So there is no more material conception of life. Okay? In this stage, at this stage, one hears about transcendental pastime. All right? At this stage of samadhi, when they hear the transcendental pastime, sometimes they have experience shivering of the body. All right? Okay. When a Brahman realized devotee who has become the stage of steady trance, he comes into contact with eternal form of Krishna. When a Brahman realized devotee come into the stage of steady trance, he will come into the contact with the eternal form of Krishna. His transcendental pleasure increases millions of times. All right. When you talk about Satya Yuga, this is the perfection of meditation. All right. This is the perfection. It's a perfection of right. So this is the perfection of sadhana, perfection of meditation. He come to the level of facing Krishna. Okay, it's transcendent pleasure that increases millions of times. Right. Of course, in Kali Yuga, it's not possible. So now, that says, one great sage once inquired from another. He said, my dear friend, do you think that after I perfect the eightfold mystic performance, what is eightfold? Ashtanga Yoga. Ashta means eight. Anga, fold. Eightfold. No, 8 types. Anga means type or limbs. Ettana angangal? 8 angangal. All right. So Ashtanga Yoga. That means eightfold performance. Okay. So he asked, my dear friend, do you think that after I perfect the eightfold yoga performance, I shall be able to see the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So this inquiry from the sage is an instant of inquisitiveness. That means he knows that's the truth and he can I achieve that? Okay. In a devotee who is situated in neutral stage of devotional service. So now we are going into neutral stage very detailed. So when Lord Krishna, along with his elder brother Balaram and sister Subhadra, came to Kurukshetra in the chariot on the occasion of solar eclipse. Okay, Krishna with his elder brother Balaram and the sister Subhadra came to Kurukshetra in a chariot during the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse, all right? Solar eclipse. Surya Granam. Okay, Grahana Surya. Grahana Matahari, Malay. So Surya Granathila. So solar eclipse, when he came, what happened? Many mystic yogis also came. When these mystic yogis saw Lord Krishna and Balaram, they exclaimed that now that they had been excellent bodily effulgence. Okay, they exclaimed that now that they had seen the excellent bodily effulgence of the Lord, because they are looking at effulgence, they want effulgence. Now they have seen the effulgence, and now they had almost forgotten the pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization. Okay, all these things we will go through when we go into Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, now in this connection, one in mystic approached Krishna and said, okay, in this connection, one of the mystic, that means out of all these people, one of the mystic, one of the yogi approached Krishna and said, my dear Lord, you are always full of transcendental bliss, excelling all other spiritual position. You are full of transcendental bliss. You are excelling all spiritual position. And so, simply by seeing you from far distant place, I have come to the conclusion there is no need of my being situated in transcendental bliss in impersonal Brahman. I come to the conclusion I should come out of it. All right? Because you're beyond that, right? Now, when a great mystic was once awakened from meditative trance by hearing the vibration of Krishna's Panchajanya Konsha. You know, when Krishna blow, when the mystic woke up, what is the sound? All right? So the mystic became overpowered. So much so, in fact, that he has begun to bash in his head on the ground, with his eyes full of tears in ecstatic love. He violated all the rules and regulation of his yoga performance. Thus, he at once neglected the process of Brahman realization. What does that mean? So like this. So now, when a mystic, when a great mystic was once awakened from meditative trance, all right? The mystic who are great, they can never be awakened. Even there's a bomb or whatever, you can never wake them because they are very deep into that trance. But now, just by hearing the vibration of Krishna's Panchajanya, the mystic yogi became overpowered. Even he had so much of power to control, he became overpowered. He gave up. Okay? And when he woke up, he began to bash his head on the ground. He started to bash his head on the ground. Because you know why? After so long he tried, now he couldn't, he just woke up. All right? And now, what happened with his eyes full of tear in ecstasy? So he bashed his head because of his ecstatic love. Then he violated all the rules and regulation of yoga performance. And what he did at last, he neglected the process of Brahman realization. So from Brahman realization, he went into personality, Bhagavan realization. All right. Now, so now another book. Okay, now it's 10:30. Oh my God, time flying. Okay, just give me a second. Now there's a story of Bilva Mangal Thakur in his book called Krishna Karnamrita. Advaita Viti Patikair Upashyaha Swananda Singhasana Labda Dikshaha Shatena Kenapi Vayang Hatena Dashi Krita Gopa Vadu Vitena. He says, let the impersonalists be engaged in the process of transcendental realization by worshipping the impersonal Brahman. Let it be. Although I was also initiated in that path of Brahman realization. So we understand Bilva Mangal Thakur was also initiated under this Brahman realization. I have now become misled by naughty boy. I've been Brahman realization, but now I've been misled. I've been taken by this naughty boy who is also very cunning. And this naughty fellow very much attached to the gopis and who has made his maidservant, who made me his maidservant. Now, not only that, he also made me as his maidservant. Then what happened? I have now forgotten the process of Brahman realization. I have forgotten. Does she krita gopa vadu vitena? Satena kenapi vayam hatena. So I have forgotten the process. So Bilva Mangal Thakur was the first spiritually initiated for impersonal realization. I mean, he was first spiritually initiated for impersonal realization of absolute truth. But later, by the association with Krishna in Vrindavan, he became an experienced devotee. All right. Now let's look at the next one. The same thing happened to Shukadev Goswami. Who is Shukadev Goswami? The speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. He spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. So thing happened to Shukadev Goswami. What? He also for ex-Brahma Tattvavadi, Brahmavadi. Before that, he was also a impersonalist. Happened to Shukadev Goswami, who also reformed himself by the grace of the Lord and took the path of devotional service, giving up the way of impersonal realization. So, why the association with his father and studies of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Now, anyway, so Shukadev Goswami and Bilva Mangal Thakur gave up impersonal conception of the absolute truth and take to devotional service. Are the best example of devotee situated in neutral state or Shantaras. Okay. Now, according to some authorities, okay, this condition cannot be accepted as one of the transcendental humus or rasa. Okay. Now, let's look at the reality that says some authorities. What it says? This condition. What is this condition? Shantaras cannot be accepted. Really? As one of the transcendental humor or rasa. He cannot be accepted. But what happened? But Rupa Goswami says, even if one does not accept it as transcendental humor or rasa or flavor, one must still accept it as the beginning position of devotional service. Please underline this statement. So even they say if one does not accept as a transcendental humor or transcendental flavor or rasa, but still one must still accept as what? As the beginning position. As the beginning position of devotional service. Are you following me? However, if one is not further raised to the platform of actual service to the Lord, he is not considered to be a platform of transcendental mellow. That means, in other words, if one is not further raised, he's already there, but he doesn't raise himself further to the platform of actual service. From Shantaras, upgrade to other ras that we're going to discuss later, he is not considered to be on that platform of transcendental mellow. But we take it as the beginning stage of a devotee. Any question? Is there got any question? Anyone want to ask anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hi, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Chaitanya Prabhu.
I refer to this Santaras, but it also display in Vrindavan also. So
How?
I mean, like, what about those grasses, like those things? They are in that platform. The grass, the table, the chair. They are also conscious, right? But they are
Please.
quite in a Santaras kind of a position, right? But
Okay, where did you learn this? Where did you heard this? Where did you heard this, Prabhu?
Because they say all the 5 rasa also got display in Vrindavan also.
Yeah, correct. Of course, the 5 rasas are there because it's the same question. What they call? What's the name? Saki Champakalata Mataji asked yesterday. The same question she asked.
Oh, okay.
She also from Skudai Johor and you also from Johor Bahru. That's why I was asking, how come 2 people from Johor is asking this? That's why I asked, where did you heard that? All right, anyway.
Prabhu,
Yes.
even Brahma prayed that he want to become some grass in Vaikuntha.
Huh?
These people who are Sandrasa, according to they are the passive state of devotion, Prabhu.
And where they want to be? They want to be in Goloka or Vaikuntha?
They will be in Vaikuntha.
Okay, because I have no idea about Vaikuntha.
Yeah,
but
they are passive devotees. They just want to be like a tree or a plant. They just want to enjoy God, looking at God.
Right. Okay. So that means what they meant, like Chaitanya Daya Prabhu and Saki Champakalata Mataji, right? So it's what Vaishnava Prabhu is saying, that the Shantaras exist in Vaikuntha Loka. That means they just go there and become passive. They want to be grass, trees, chairs, table, and all this.
But they want to keep on saying Lord.
Yeah, they just want to keep on seeing the Lord, yes. Because as what we have studied in Nectar of Devotion, to be able to enter Goloka Vrindavan, you must have to the highest prema, Madhurya. Everything is Madhurya there. Prabhu? The trees, the plants. So one example, Rupa Goswami was telling, the Tamala tree will be lamenting. Why Krishna is not coming and taking rest under my branch? Why he's not stepping on my shadow? Right? So the tree is not trying to be passive. The tree wants to be actively involved in Krishna's Madhurya Leela. Madhurya. You got it, Prabhu? Chang Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you saw my message, Prabhu?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. No, because at last that the Chaitanya Charitamrita set is with me now. I'm going to send.
Okay, take your time, Prabhu.
No, please. I taken a long time already.
It's okay.
The Chaitanya Charitamrita, my boy, the thing came around 4 or 5 months before. And that boy took it and locked it in our storeroom.
Okay.
And I went to check. I said, where the Chaitanya? When I say that is in the storeroom, and of course, you open, they don't know. They're thinking other book, they just open. Oh, Chaitanya Charitamrita, they close back. And I said, you should have told me. I've been keep asking, where's the CC, So now I've taken and kept in my car. And before I forget, I must send to you today itself.
Okay, Haribo, thank you.
Please send me your DC, because after the program, after this class, on the way to fetch my children, I'm going to send the book right away. I cannot keep, because I think I've delayed you, almost 10 months? This is the longest delay in book distribution in my life. So I have to send it today. Please send me the address, because I don't know. I set my phone and all the address gone already.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Please send, by today.
Yeah.
By 11:30, I'm going to send. Please send by then.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So now I also learned something new. Thanks to Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. You really have so much of Kripa. Huh? So now I was thinking, well, if they have spoken the Shantaras exist in spiritual world, but there we studied something else. We studied the Tamala tree is lamenting why Krishna is not coming to me, why is not sitting under my branch, and why it is. And in during the Rasa Leela, all these things, when Radharani wants to pluck flower to offer to Krishna, and the tree seems to be long, and the tree bent down. The one and only place in the world you see the entire forest, all the tree bending down, only in Golok, in Vrindavan. The tree bended down so that what they call Radharani doesn't need to struggle to pluck the flower. And who serves Radharani? Radharani served by the Manjari, Sakis, Gopis. All right. So if that tree is also serving Radharani, means can that tree be just like another type of devotee? No, it's supposed to be Saki Manjari. Right? And it turns and it bends down. It bends down. So how can Shantaras? That's why I doubt. But now I understand from what Vaishnava Prabhu is telling. The Shantaras exist in Vaikuntha Loka, where the devotees wants to become passive. That means they just like to be like a grass, like a tree, and to see what is happening. They like to be stepped upon by the Lord or something like that. Okay, because we are all studying about Goloka, Vrindavan, Mathura, and this thing. In fact, we are not also studying on Dwaraka, right? So Dwaraka. So that's why I'm not so sure about what is in Vaikuntha Loka. Yes, Sakhi Mataji.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Prabhu, இப்போ சாந்தா ராசால இருக்கிறவங்க வந்து வைகுண்ட லோகத்துல மரமா இருக்கிறாங்க. நம்ம கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் பொசிஷன் டு பி a servant of the Lord. நம்மனால பேசாம அப்படியே பேசிவா இருக்க முடியுமா அந்த மாதிரி? இல்ல அவங்க ஃபால் டவுன் பண்ணுவாங்களா? அங்க அப்கிரேட் பண்ண போ சான்ஸ் இருக்கா?
See, whether we are in Shantaras or we get liberated to Vaikuntha, once we go to Vaikuntha, that means when you look at the universal creation, right, after Kailash, the lighter Kailash, Sadasiva, the place of Sadasiva, onwards, you will never come back. All right? Once you go there, you will never come back. So the constitutional position means you have a position. That means in this material, say, like for instance, now I got a table in front of me. The table is not life, it's a matter. But in Goloka Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha Loka, everything has consciousness. Even the pebble on the ground also has consciousness. Therida Mataji?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Because I recall this message was brought during I think the Radha it was a sermon by this Bhakti Nanda of Singapore. So he was saying that this Santa actually they also interact. They are not just they can go into very high stage of devotion also. So when they are there, that's why the grass even the grass they can transform themselves.
Yeah, correct.
That is the part. So actually it's not just a totally passive stage. It can interact, something like that.
Yes. Correct.
Finish your japa first.
Correct. Say like for instance now, say like the devotee suddenly wants to be the bumblebee. Suddenly it wants to turn into a flower. They can take any kind of form because everything is conscious there. All right. Now, Mataji, you're talking, everything is consciousness. Example, Chintamani. What is Chintamani stone?
Touchstone, Prabhu.
What happened? If you have a touchstone, what will happen?
It will fulfill desire, right?
How?
I'm not sure, Prabhu.
When you take the touchstone, put on anything, it turn into gold.
Oh.
Oh, wow. You take the touchstone, put on your computer will become gold.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means there is life, there's activity in that stone. Is the stone is dead matter? No. It has life, yes?
The last statement திருப்பி continue பண்ணுங்க பிரபு.
அதாவது இப்ப இந்த கல்லுக்கு வந்து அதுக்கு உயிர் இருக்கு. அது தொட்டோனே எல்லாமே தங்கமா மாறிடுது. அதுக்கு வந்து அதோட ஆக்டிவிட்டி இருக்கா இல்லையா?
இருக்கு பிரபு, இருக்கு.
Okay, right? So that means the stone has energy. That means that stone has activity. That means the stone is not just like ordinary matter. It is life. Just like sometimes when you talk about granite stone, karungal, the stone grow, right? When you look at the stones that you pick from Narmada river, is it Godavari river, Saligram, it is alive, right? So similarly, the Chintamani stone is alive. What is the proof? Chintamani pragara satma sukalpa vriksha laksha vritesu surabir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra sadasabhrama sevamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajamin. So what does that mean? So Chintamani pragara satmasu. So Chintamani, that means the place of Vaikunta, all full of Chintamani stones. So what we understand from there, they don't have ordinary pebbles. Even the stone has consciousness, right? But here we are talking about Shantaras on a material platform, a mystic yogi converting into a spiritual person, coming into devotional service. So this Shantaras is material situation, right? That means I have been a mystic yogi, and now the process of being a mystic yogi coming into Bhakti yogi, the process is called Shantaras, right? Like we studied in Bhakti Loka. What we studied? There's a 3 types of devotee. Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Overall we know Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. But Kanishta is divided into 3. Kanishta, that means pure Kanishta. Kanishta, Madhyama, that means from the Kanishta is coming to the Madhyama level. And even in Kanishta, there's a Kanishta, Uttama. After you cut Kanishta, Uttama, you get upgraded to Madhyama. When you upgrade to Madhyama, where you start? You start from Madhyama, Kanishta. Then you go to Madhyama, Madhyama. Then you go to Madhyama, you go to the highest level in Madhyama, it's called Madhyama Uttama. Then you go to Uttama Adhikari, pure devotee. But you go become a pure devotee, where you also start from Uttama Kanishta. Kanishta Uttama. Then you upgrade. Then Madhyama Kanishta, Madhyama Uttama. That finally the topmost is Uttama Uttama. Divided into 3. All right, like when Prabhupada, they say Prabhupada is such a Uttama Adhikari, but he downgraded himself as Madhyama so that he can go and preach. Have you heard that statement before? Have you heard that statement before?
Yes, yes, they got to brought themselves down.
Sorry? Chiang Mataji, Chiang Mataji, what do you say, Chiang Prabhu? Chaitanya Daya?
Yeah, the Uttama, they are so high. Sometimes because of their compassion towards living entities, they brought themselves down to the level.
Okay. Madhyama, you heard about it, eh? Okay. Yeah. Anyone else heard about it? Saki Mataji, have you heard about it?
எனக்கு நீங்க கடைசியா பேசுன வழங்கல பிரபு என்ன கேட்டீங்கன்னு.
அதாவது என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, பிரபுபாதர் வந்துட்டு உத்தம அதிகாரியில இருந்து மத்தியம அதிகாரிக்கு வந்திருக்காரு, உலகம் பூரா பிரச்சாரம் பண்ண.
ஆமா, நான் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கேன் பிரபு. From உத்தம he came to உத்தம மத்தியமா.
So now we are talking about which Madhyama Adhikari came down. Has he come down to what? Madhyama Adhikari? No. Even in Uttama level, there's a Uttama Kanishta, Uttama Madhyama, Uttama. So Srila Prabhupada is Uttama. He came down into Madhyama Uttama. So he came to the Madhyama Adhikari in Uttama bracket. So similarly, when you talk about Shantaras also got a Shantaras in what they call in this material world, Shantaras in Vaikunta Loka and Shantaras also in Goloka. Of course, all these exist, eternally existing, but to the level of intensity. Okay, but here we are discussing about the 5 mellows. How starting from Shantaras, then slowly you go to the next one, then you go to ultimately you go to Madhurya Ras. All right, okay. So now 10:49. All right. So in this connection, the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, what it says, Samoman nishtata buddhir iti Shri Bhagavati vachaha. Tan nishta durgata buddhir etang shantaratim vina. Lord Krishna personally instruct Uddhava. Who? Lord Krishna personally instructing Uddhava. Okay, we spoke about this, right? We have seen many incidents. 11th canto, Krishna will be explaining to Uddhava. All right, what he says? in the state of being established in my personal form. The state of being established, when you come and establish that I am Satchit Ananda Vigraha, that I have a form, eternal, full of knowledge, and very blissful. When the person is sick, that stage, we call it as, is called Shantaras. Okay? And without being situated in this position, no one can advance into actual pure devotional service. All right? So in other words, no one can be situated in personal feature of the Supreme Personality without being situated at least in Shantaras. So are we all in Shantaras based on this statement? What do you think? But sometimes as a Hindu or Buddhist, we are basically worshipping deities. Maybe we can't feel it. We don't feel it, you know, because we worship, okay, we worship Murugan, Ganapati, Shiva, all in the form, Lingam and everything. But for those people who are from Christianity and Islam, where they don't believe in the form of the Lord, and for them to come and accept the form of the Lord, their rasa is totally different. Okay. So now, by understanding this, we are somewhere or other situated in the Shantaras. Because now we came to establish the personal form of Krishna. Like some of them got a very nice deities are worshipping. So that's the understanding, all right? Kevalo Shantapi, Tri Vishnu Dharmo Tare Yata, quoting from Vishnu Dharmo Tare. Nasti Yatra Sukang Dukkang Na Dvesho Nacha Matsaraha. Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Sa Shanta Pratito Rasaha. Sarvataivam Ahankara Ratitatvam Vrajanti Chet Atrantarbhavam Arhanti Dharma Viradayastada Dhriti Stayinam Eke Tu Nirveda Stayinam Pare Shantam Eve Rasam Purve Prahur Ekam Anikada Nirvedo Vishayi Stayi Tattva Jnanot Bhava Sachet Istanishta Viyogapti Kritastu Vyabhichari Asau Iti Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindau Paschime Vibhage Mukhya Bhakti Rasa Panchaka Nirupane Shanta Bhakti Rasa Lahari Pratama Vidhis, and the first stage of what? Shanta Bhakti. Okay. So in Shanta Bhakti we talk about, then after that this is the first beginning, and all the verse that we read just now, it has been Prabhupada have given us summary. Sarvataima Ahankara. Sarvataima, give up all kind of Ahankara. Rahitattvam Vrjanti. Antaratar Aharanti Dharma Viradayastada. Giving up all this. Okay. Dhriti Stayinam, the Stayi Bhav, then Nirveda Stayinam Parava. Two types of okay, I don't want to speculate. Shantam Eva Rasa Pure Prahur Ekam Anikada. Nirvedo Vishayi Stayi Bhav. Tattva Janot Bhava. Isharita Vijayogapti Kritastu Vyabhichari Asau. All right. So that means this is the thing, that how when a person in connection with establish the personal form and all this explanation that we have this thing, and this is the verse. All right. So with that, we have already completed chapter 35. Okay. So today, Friday evening, we're going to continue chapter 36. That means second wave of Western Ocean. So now, is there any questions? And the second wave is not so long. It's quite 35. Oh, 36. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chapter 36. Okay. Right. Any questions so far?
Prabhu, just now you explained the Santa Rasa in the stage. It's quite unlimited by itself. So it's quite vast thing. I think many lifetime to complete also might not be completed.
Definitely, Prabhu. What you are thinking is absolutely right. It takes many lifetime in Shantaras.
Oh.
Then you go to the next life, another, because we got 5. So the first itself, many lifetime. Second, many lifetime. Third, fourth, fifth, so many lifetime. Okay, we don't talk about that. We talk about the 3 different types of devotees, Kanishta. Even from Kanishta to go to Kanishta Madhyama, it may take at least 1 or 2 lives. We have seen devotees who are many years, but still they cannot come out of that bodily concept of life. They have to born again. Then from there they continue as Kanishta Madhyama, Kanishta Uttama. Just to come to the Prema level, maybe can take you what? 15, 20 births. But it's rest assured, we are on our way. When you go standard 1 in government schools, example, you enter standard 1, you are very sure, guaranteed that you will finish SPM, you'll be here until Form 5 in government school. Unless halfway you want to go away, it's guaranteed. So similarly, once we are in this process, it is guaranteed. Right? But now you're thinking, oh my God, I wish I can go back now itself. Now you're talking about so many. That is why we once, with the mercy of our spiritual master, it is possible. Chaitanya Daya Prabhu, were you there when we discussed about the universal setup where we can go up to the core of universe, but we cannot break that core of universe? Were you there? Have you heard about it? Chaitanya Prabhu?
Oh, no, Prabhu. Sorry.
Oh, you're not there, right? Because we can, just by chanting Namabhas or clearance of chanting the holy name, we can go to the core of the universe. Core of the universe means above that Satyaloka, above that Lord Brahma's place. We can go to the core of the universe. Right? The last core of the universe, the last layer is called Ahankar. The core of Ahankar. And that core, who take care? Kala Bhairava. The deities in charge is Kala Bhairava. Another form of the darker part of Kailash, got darker Kailash and lighter Kailash. It's on a darker Kailash. And the deity in charge is Kala Bhairava. That core is not easy to break. Very hard to break. Right? You go up to there, definitely you come back. You can never break that. After you break, you go to Viraja river. You go to the brighter Kailash, you go to the Viraja river, you take a bath, you give up your material condition, you give up your everything, you take your original form of the spiritual body, then you go to any of your desired destination. But to break that core is not a joke. But with the mercy of a spiritual master, it is possible. So Chaitanya Daya Prabhu, it is not possible technically, but it's possible by the mercy of the spiritual master. That's why we say spiritual master is a very, very important element in our life. Yes. Without being connected with spiritual master, you can have all the knowledge in the world, you can have all the technical knowledge, but you see. So when we pray to Krishna, oh my dear Lord, please be merciful towards me, please show me a path, show me the truth, whatever things that you pray to Krishna, Krishna bless you by giving you a spiritual master. You really want all this? He will show you the spiritual master. How the spiritual master, when the disciple is ready, spiritual master will appear. Right? So without the mercy of spiritual master, there's no way we can go up to that level. So don't worry, Prabhu. All right? Just go on chanting, worship our spiritual master. All right? One of the most important prayers that we all have to do. Early in the morning, somewhere around 6 a.m. at least, we must sing loudly the song Sansara Dava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganat Ganatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunana Vaishya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinda Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manaso Rasena Romancha Kampa Srutarango Bajo Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinda Sri Vigrahara Dhananitya Nana Srungaratan Mandira Marjanadav Yuktasya Bhaktangscha Niyunjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinda 4. Chaturvida Sri Bhagavat Prasado Swadav Anna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajato Sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam Sri Radhika Madhavayor Apara Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Namnam Pratishana Svadanalolupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam Nikunjo yuno ratikeli sidyai. Yayali bir yuktira pekshaniya. Tatra tridakshat ativallabhasya. Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. Sakshadaritvena samasta shastret. Bhuktastata bhavyateva satvi. Kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya. Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. Dhyayanstu vangstasya yasastri sandhyam. Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. 8 slokas of Guru. But the 9th is very important. What it says? Srimad Guru Ashtakam etat uchait Brahma Muhurte Patati Prayatnat Yastena Vrindavananata Sakshat Sevaya Labhya Janusanta Eva. What is the 9th? Of course, in our ISKCON temple, that is omitted. It's supposed to be there, right? He didn't put there. All right. But now it's what is the 9th one? It says, one who with great care and alteration loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavan, at the time of his death. And how? Loudly recite. Not just sometimes when people sing, I say, do you understand what you sing? We must understand. We must loudly recite with full emotion, because there's a lot of strong meaning here. The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy. That means what? The spiritual master is getting the benediction from the ocean of mercy. Just as the cloud pours water on the forest fire to extinguish it, so that spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the fire of blazing fire of material existence. I offer my respectful obeisances. Chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, singing and playing musical instrument, the spiritual master always gladdened by the Sankirtan movement, because he's relishing the mellow of pure devotion within his mind. Sometimes his hair stands on the end. He feels quivering in his body, and tears flow from his eyes like waves. All right? I offer my respectful obeisances. So we have to meditate. No, the spiritual master is always engaged in temple worship. He also engaged in disciple in such worship. They dress the deities and ornaments and perform other similar worship. I offer my respectful obeisance. The spiritual master always offering Krishna 4 kinds of delicious food. Right? When the spiritual master sees the devotee are satisfied eating, okay, now the spiritual master is always eager to hear and chant about the unlimited conjugal pastime of Radha and Madhava and their qualities, names and forms. The spiritual master aspires to relish this at every moment. The spiritual master is very dear because he's expert in assisting gopis, who is different time make different tasteful arrangement. So now we understand that our spiritual master is none other than Manjaris, because he says assisting the gopis, right? With groves of Vrindavan. All right, now the spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord, because he is the most confidential servitor. Who is that confidential servitor? The associate of Radharani.
17,
Right?
18.
Then, therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of thee. So, by the mercy of spiritual master, one receives the benediction. Prabhu, Chaitanya Prabhu, this is what it says. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Right? Benedictions of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. That means by the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise spiritual master at least 3 times a day. I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet. So now when you look at that, the verse number 8, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasadat, that means Yasya prasadat. Now, prasadam. Then I'm going to take this. Yes, sir, the spiritual giving you prasad. What prasad? Bhagavad prasad. But if not yasya prasadan, na. If it doesn't want to give, gati kutopi, you don't get anything. Vyayam stuvam tasya yashastri sandhyam. Okay, 3 sandhyam. That means we must always worship the spiritual master in 3 sandhya. Morning, in the afternoon, and at evening. All right? And we must then stuvam tasya 3 sandhyam. Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. By worshipping spiritual master, we can be elevated to the supreme destination. Without the spiritual master, there's no way we can come out of the situation. All right? Okay, so any other question? All right, I think I have to go, no? We meet again tonight at 7 p.m. because the next chapter 36 is going to be even more interesting. Transcendental affection. So now from Shanta Ras, now we are coming into servitude. What Ras is that? Yeah, what is that?
Dasya.
Dasya Ras, yes. Dasya Ras. We are coming into Dasya Ras. It's going to be even more interesting. So please don't miss the session. We meet again later. Vancha kalpaturubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha paditanam pavinibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gauranga.